Structure in English language. It's something many students struggle with. What is structure? How do I answer the question? And in this video, what we aim to cover is how to maximize your marks for question 3 structure. Now, to those of you who have joined and been participating in our TikTok lives, you would know that we've spent some time looking over the question 3 on structure for English language paper 1. So what I wanted to do in this video is to give you a breakdown of how to approach this question and importantly, how to maximize your marks and then showing you a model answer. So let's dive in and let's look at it in further detail. So a typical question would read something like this. You now need to think about the whole of the source. This text is from the beginning of a novel. How has the writer structured the text to interest you as a reader? You could write about what the writer focuses your attention on at the beginning of the source, how and why the writer changes this focus as the source develops, and any other structural features that interest you. Now, the good news is every single year it's the exact same question, right? So there's nothing that changes. Now, what you've noticed here is the word in bold is whole. So you are expected to cover the entire text from the beginning, middle, and end. That doesn't mean every single line, but the key phrases, key quotes from the beginning to the middle to the end. Now, what do they mean by structure? Is how the text is organized and what structural devices has the writer used, and how and why does the writer change its focus as the source develops. Now, if you look at the bullet points provided, these bullet points are there for a reason. It's there for guidance. So make sure you pay attention and follow this accordingly. So just some top tips for you to remember. What are you expected to do? Now, the first top tip is to write a minimum of 3 paragraphs. So to make it simple and easy for you, 1 on the beginning, 1 on the middle, 1 for the end. You will be writing about the whole source. You need to show the examiner that you can understand the question, you understand the extract, you can select appropriate quotations and show inference. And you should spend 10 to 12 minutes maximum answering this question. So don't overdo it and spend like 15-20 minutes, because that way you will fall behind with the other questions. A simple way to answer this question is to comment on the beginning, middle, and end of the extract. Like I said, when you do that, you should support it with structural features that you find. Now, some key structural terminology that you may focus on for this question is how are the characters introduced, what happens in the exposition, zooming in, zooming out. So what do I mean by this? What does the writer zoom in on in particular detail, in specific detail? So for example, is it inside the house they focus on a particular object? Let's say, for example, a photo album. What's the significance of that photo album? Maybe it shares the family memories, it shares this, it shares that. Zooming out. In the next paragraph or a few paragraphs later, do they zoom out and focus on the outside of the house and provide you with a bird's eye view? If so, why are they zooming out and how does that interest the reader? Tell us how it focuses the reader's attention and how does it develop the reader's understanding, and also the change/shift in focus. What shifts in focus? Is it the setting? Is it the characters? Is it the mood, the atmosphere, etc.? So make sure you use those words. The writer shifts the focus to ... So that's a top tip I'll give you all, and it's a hack because if you word it like that, you force yourself to answer the question accurately. Rising tension. How is that interesting? How do they build that? And the climax. What happens in the climax? We know the climax is the most intense and exciting part of the story. Single sentence paragraphs, again, to do with structure. Why is the single sentence paragraph used? Is it used to shift focus, to build tension? If so, how and why? Always ask yourself this. How does it interest the reader and why? And then, of course, dialogue. If we have dialogue in the text, does that fall under structure? Yes, absolutely. So dialogue, we know it gives an insight to the character. So tell us, importantly, how it interests the reader. So these are some top tips and things for you to consider. So let's have a look at a model answer, a grade 9 answer. Now, as you can see from the key here, the green highlighted is quotations to support ideas or referring to the text, so any evidences. The blue is demonstrating your inference, and the yellow is demonstrating your subject terminology, so using structural terminology in your answer. So what you notice is the grade 9 answer will have a variety of the green, blue and yellow, and I'll show you how you get the top mark. So as you can see, students, we have a grade 9 answer. I know it says grade 7 plus response, but it's actually a grade 9 answer. Now, if you want to learn how to write a grade 7, 8, 9 answer, with a step-by-step template, then you should definitely consider joining our amazing online tuition at Easy Education London. We've got qualified teachers helping hundreds of students around the UK achieve excellent results. So we've got an impressive track record. We provide you with templates, predicted papers, PowerPoint slides, flashcards, and plenty more. So if you are interested, send us an email or send us a direct message on TikTok or Instagram with your name and your year group. And if you are interested, our member staff will get back to you regarding the prices for the classes and also the timings as well. We only have a few spaces available, so spaces are filling up very fast. So if you want to achieve academic excellence, then look no further and join our online tuition. And why should you join, you may ask? We have exclusive exam papers, cheat sheets, revision guides, PowerPoint slides, flashcards. Not only that, students who join, they get access to our free booster sessions that we run during the school holidays. And that's something that you'd get for free, for being part of our organization. So if you want to get that support and if you want to make progress at a fast rate, then look no further and sign up today. Right, moving on. So let's have a look at the model answer, and you can pick out the things that you need to do to get the top marks. So you may begin something like this. At the beginning of the extract, the reader's focus is on the streaks of sunlight covering a baby. Now, can I start with a simple sentence like that? Absolutely. Tell us what the focus is at the beginning, and that will allow you to support it with evidence as well. Okay, so if we look at it in further detail, whenever you say something in English, you have to back it up with evidence. So in green, as you can see, the sun warming the brush house gives the impression it will be a tranquil, utopian narrative. Tick. Excellent. Great inference. How many students would comment like this? Not many. Tranquil is peaceful, it's calmful. Utopian narrative is almost like they're in heaven. Their attention then shifts. Remember what I mentioned? Use the relevant subject terminology, because it's a hack that you can use to answer the question, and examiners are looking for these keywords and they'll give you a tick. Their attention then shifts to Kino and Joanna, the baby's parents, before describing a scorpion on the baby's bed ropes. This shift in focus introduces, again, shift in focus, a more sinister and threatening aspect to the extract as the scorpion juxtaposes the idyllic atmosphere that preceded its introduction, causing the reader to feel anxious for the baby's safety. Again, what do you see from this example? Excellent use of subject terminology. They've identified structure, as you can see in yellow, juxtaposes. So here, juxtaposition is a structural device. In the second paragraph, the writer details a scene of conflict between Kino and the scorpion, constantly switching focus between them. It is clear that there's an equal power balance, and consequently, the reader does not have an idea of who will win the conflict. Following this paragraph, the writer uses a single sentence paragraph to heighten the tension of the moment. And at that moment, the laughing coyotito shook the rope and the scorpion fell. The single sentence also directly contrasts an innocent baby's laugh with a fatal scorpion. So look, we have here clearly an example of a single sentence paragraph. That is, as you know, a structural device which we went over earlier, which contrasts joy and death and sends the reader into a state of panic and worry that an innocent baby's life is endangered. So here we've got an example of juxtaposition, and it keeps the readers hooked because they question what is going to happen next. So that's that. The next section is about Kino destroying the enemy, the scorpion. The writer says he beat it until it was only a fragment in the dirt. Evidence, tick. Partially relieving the reader's distress and diminishing the tension. Tick, excellent inference. So what's happened now? The tension has temporarily disappeared, and now the readers are intrigued. What will happen next? Does that interest the reader? Yes, it does. Is that effective structure? Tick, excellent, brilliant commentary. Finally, remember, you need to comment towards the end. The end of the extract mainly focuses on Joanna's efforts to save the baby and the importance of extracting the poison. There is a switch in the roles. Tick. Excellent. Because not many students would pick this up. We know initially, or for the most part of the text, Kino is seen as the leader. Okay, he's the aggressor. He's the one who's violent, physical, trying to defeat the scorpion. But now, towards the end, suddenly, the roles have switched. So there's a switch in the roles of the parents, with Kino previously having taken the lead in destroying the scorpion, whereas now Joanna takes over in the rush to save the baby. This might give a reader hope, as a mother is associated with bringing life into the world, therefore they hope she can preserve it. Now, having read that, this is an excellent example of a grade 9 answer, top marks, because they've used and identified structural devices. You've got your juxtaposition, you've got your shifts in focus, you've got your single sentence paragraph, tick, tick, tick. They've got great inference, and not just simple inference, but they're looking at the explicit and the implicit, and they are detailed, they are perceptive, tick. And finally, of course, they have a range of quotes in green. Okay, so as you can see throughout the text, they have relevant quotes to support what they are saying for success for question 3 structure. So I hope this has given you all a better understanding, and hopefully this has made things easier for you to understand. And this is exactly what we go over in our online tuition. So if you are interested, send us an email, easyeducationlondon@gmail.com, or visit our website www.easyeducationlondon.com for more information. I hope you all enjoyed watching this video and you benefited. If you stayed until the end, comment below I watched until the end, and don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms, Easy Education London on Instagram, YouTube and TikTok. Thank you very much for your support. I appreciate it, and I wish you all the best for your exams. Take care and peace.